This is what's been called a forest park. It's on the outskirts of the Czech town of Pardubice, and it's been created here to remember those parachutists who landed here, who initially escaped from the Nazi occupation in March 1939, who in most cases ended up fighting on the Western Front in 1940, who then got themselves back to the United Kingdom but returned to occupied Czechoslovakia in the end of 1941 or in 1942 and were killed in the aftermath of the assassination of the governor Heydrich, which he died, well, that took place at the end of May 1942, but he died in June 1942, which resulted in what has been termed the largest police operation in European history, or maybe it was up until that point. Anyway, so we have here people from 4 operations: Biscop, or groups I should say, Biscop, Tin, Silver A, and the one that's best known, which is Anthropoid. And we have these obelisks around the park. So if I have a quick walk through now, first we've got information, everything's in Czech of course, fortunately I can understand it, and the central place is by these 3 obelisks. Josef Walczak, who was killed in the shootout which took place in the church in Prague, where they were cornered, those that took part in the assassination of Heydrich. There's Alfred Bartosz, who led the group Silver A, and he was caught in his flat, or the flat he was hiding in, on the 22nd of June 1942. He escaped. He ran through the streets of Pardubice, and he, according to one of the Germans who was interrogated after the war, what he said at the trial was he believes he'd been shot by a German, although it's now generally accepted that he turned his gun on himself and he committed suicide. He was still alive when they found him, took him to the hospital, but he died shortly afterwards. Now, the location of this park has been chosen here because of this person here, Jiří Potůček, who, he was a radio operator. He was using the radio to the south of here, place near Lezaky, a village which was later, like Lezaky, was completely destroyed. He was caught, but in a shootout, or he was found, I should say, but in a shootout he managed to get away, and he got as far as here, just in the outskirts of Pardubice, but he collapsed here, exhausted. He was found by the collaborationist police, and they, one of them, shot him here. So I can read it to you. It says the place where he fell in the fight against the German occupier, Jiří Potůček, 12th of July 1919 to the 2nd of July 1942, one of the most renowned Czech parachute, one of the first, actually, maybe even better, Czech parachutists. Glorify his memory, or remember him, something like that. This location was chosen for the Leszne Park, the forest park, because of the way the town had sort of expanded to these houses here, which myself, having been involved in real estate development, I can say they're very well done. I very much appreciate the design of them, and also knowing a little bit of the financing of such things, can understand it from that point of view. So that's a small word there for the developer. And we have amongst the how should I put it? When I was a child, they were called swings, but they said not swings, the playground, if you like. Other obelisks recalling other parachutists, such as here and up there. That I'm going to finish, I think, by walking to the obelisk which marks the anthropoid operation, which is most famous. There's been 11 films, I counted yesterday, about this, and there's one recently done in 2016. I haven't seen the film myself. In fact, it was only because I was decided to do a sort of little documentary on that, the anthropoid, or rather the Silver A operation, that I noticed that all of these films had been made. But there you have these two, Gabčík and Kubiš, from Anthropoid, killed on the 18th of June 1942 in a shootout with the Nazi occupiers in Prague.